Welcome back to Menopause Mastery, and as always, I'm thrilled to have you here. So today I'm going to dig in a little bit deeper into the hormonal changes that occur in perimenopause and menopause, specifically around adrenal function, cortisol, and the ever frustrating weight gain that often accompanies this transition. And this gets overlooked. I mean, we hear all the time about cortisol, and if your cortisol's high, you're stressed out, and if you're stressed out, you gain weight. But there are some very specific things that happen to women because of the other hormonal changes that often get overlooked. So yes, menopause is a natural biological process that marks the end of our menstrual cycle. It occurs between the ages of 45 and 55 on average. Every once in a while, there's an outlier. I have this lovely lady who's 58, and damn if that thing isn't still going on. And I've also had women that went into menopause in their 30s. But during this time, we have a significant decline in particularly estrogen and progesterone. Testosterone, the androgen, has declined, but has a slower role. It's a more gradual change where progesterone and estrogen are more significant. And particularly estrogen has this sort of all over the place experience, and then it just dies off. And obviously, these hormones regulate your menstrual cycles, mood, bone health, weight management, metabolic processes. Menopause is a full body, full tissue, full cellular event. Every single cell feels it except for two in the body. And when you're functioning normally and you've got eggs left in your ovaries, the ovaries have that same enzyme and they take DHEA that then gets made into testosterone and they convert it to estradiol, which is your protective estrogen. But that goes away when the ovaries are out of eggs, right? So when we have reduced DHEA and lower overall androgens, because we've gotten older, that reduces our libido, increases fatigue, reduces muscle mass, right? We lose muscle. And the adrenal contribution to hormonal balance becomes increasingly critical because we've got one gland that wasn't anticipating a 35 to 40-year stretch where it was going to be producing enough hormones to keep you active, alive, and important to the planet, right? We aren't supposed to live 40 years or 35 years after menopause. What about, how does this feedback work, right? So we have feedback between these different organ systems, okay? So again, we've got a symphony controlled by the conductor and the director, hypothalamus pituitary. And we have the wind section, which are the ovaries. We have the percussion section, which are the adrenal glands. They interact back and forth with the hypothalamus pituitary. So they have what we call feedback regulation. So the loss of ovarian hormones disrupts the feedback between the gonads and the adrenal and the accesses with the HP, right? Hypothalamus pituitary, right? So how that happens is estrogen and progesterone help regulate corticotropin releasing hormone and adrenal corticotropin hormone, ACTH, and the other one is CRH, which control cortisol secretion. Without adequate hormone feedback, we are going to see this entire dysregulation. So chronic low-grade activation can lead to adrenal exhaustion or persistent stress response. So what does that mean? All that gobbledygook. Loss of estrogen and progesterone changes how your pituitary talks to the adrenals, and it could either dysregulate and make adrenal fatigue or basically low production of adrenals, right? So you don't make enough cortisol to respond to stress, so you get wired and tired, you don't sleep well, and you want to basically slap everybody but don't have the damn energy to do it. Or you get this persistent increase in stress response where it's constantly being stimulated. So that is one of the major functions. And it's why, so I created a quiz that it's a little over 2 years old now. 57,000 women have taken this quiz. And the quiz helped them understand what was happening with their hormones and what their dominant hormone problem was.